6th October 2023 Morning Murli Om Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children have so much practice of staying in remembrance that at the end you don't remember anyone else except the one Father. Question: by following which Srimad can you children become fortunate? Answer: the Father Srimad is, children become conquerors of sleep. The early morning time is very good. Wake up at that time and remember me, your Father, and you will become very fortunate. If you don't wake up early in the morning, then by remaining asleep, you lose out. Simply to sleep and eat means to lose out. Therefore, instill the habit of waking up early in the morning. Song: you wasted the night in the sleeping and the day in eating. Om Shanti. This story is for your children. The Father says, children, to eat and sleep is not really a life, since you children have been receiving the donation of these imperishable jewels of knowledge. Your aprons are becoming full. Therefore, to sleep and eat means to lose out. There is great praise of waking up early in the morning on the path of devotion and also on the path of knowledge, because there is a lot of peace in the early morning hours. All souls are in their original religion. They became bodiless and take rest. At that time, you can have a lot of remembrance. During the day, there is a lot of chaos of Maya. Only that time is good. We are now becoming like diamonds from shells. The Father says to you children, you are my children and I am your child. How the Father becomes the child, it's something to be understood. The Father gives the inheritance to his children. In fact, I am the businessman anyway. Your bodies and minds that are worth shells are not worth a penny. I take everything old of yours and return it to you to look after as trustees. You have been singing for birth after birth. I will surrender myself to you. I will sacrifice myself. Mine is one and none other, because all of you are brides. You remember the one bridegroom. Forget your body and all bodily relationships, and let there be such a remembrance of just the one that, at the end, you don't remember your own body or that of anyone else. You have to have that much practice. The early morning time is very good. This is your true pilgrimage. People have been going on pilgrimages for birth after birth, but they haven't attained liberation. Those were false pilgrimages. This is the true spiritual pilgrimage for liberation and liberation in life. When people go on pilgrimages, they remember Amarnath, Badrinath. They especially speak of the 4 pilgrimage places. How many pilgrimage places have you been to? How much devotion have you done? You have been doing it for half a cycle. No one knows these things. Only the Father himself comes to liberate you. He becomes your guide and takes you back with him. He is such a wonderful guide. He takes you children to the lands of liberation and liberation in life. No one else can be such a guide. Sannyasis simply speak of the land of liberation. They wouldn't be able to use the expression liberation in life. They consider that to be temporary happiness, like the droppings of a crow. You children know that the Father is the remover of sorrow and the bestower of happiness. O Mother and Father, when we become your children, all our sorrow is removed. We become happy for half a cycle. This remains in your intellects, does it not? However, when you get involved in business, etc., you forget this. You don't wake up early in the morning. Those who remain asleep lose out. You know that you have truly received a birth like a diamond. If you don't wake up even now, it would be understood that you are not fortunate because you don't wake up early in the morning and remember the most beloved father and bridegroom. The bridegroom became separated from you for half a cycle and you forget the father for the whole cycle. Then, on the path of devotion, you remembered him in the form of the beloved or the father. The bride remembers the bridegroom. He is also called the father. The father is now personally in front of you, and so you have to follow his Srimad. If you don't follow Srimad, you fall. Srimad means the directions of shivbaba. You cannot say we don't know whose directions we receive. You should understand that he is also responsible for the directions thus one gives. Just as in a worldly way, a father is responsible for his children. Son shows father. This body of Brahma shows the father. He is a very dearly beloved child. There are many very good children who don't know whose directions they follow or who gives them directions. They don't even remember Baba. They don't wake up early in the morning and remember Baba, and so their sins are not absolved. Baba tells you, I make so much effort and yet the suffering of karma still continues, because it is not just a question of this one birth. There are the karmic accounts of many births. You have received the directions. When you tell Baba about your sins of just this one birth, half can be cut away. The father says, I know, and Dharamraj knows that you have committed many sins. Dharamraj has been giving punishment in the jail of a worm. You are now making effort and having your sins absolved, and so you will receive the palace of a worm. Maya doesn't exist there. That she would make people commit sin for which they would have to experience punishment. For half a cycle, it is a godly kingdom, and for half a cycle, it is Ravan's kingdom. The example of the snake also comes from here. Sannyasis have copied you. Similarly, Baba gives you the example of the buzzing moth. Just as a buzzing moth takes insects into her home, so you too bring impure ones here. You then change them from Shudras into Brahmins. Your name is Brahmani, means Brahman teacher. This example of the Brahmari means buzzing moth is very good. Many come here in a practical way, but some remain weak and others decay. Some are finished. Maya brings great storms. In fact, each one of you is Hanuman. No matter how many storms Maya brings, we will never forget Baba or heaven. Baba repeatedly tells you to remain cautious. People go stumbling along on pilgrimages. Here, you don't go anywhere else. You simply have to continue to remember the one Father and the land of happiness. You are truly those who became victorious. This is called the power of the intellect's yoga and the power of knowledge. By remembering the Father, you receive power and the lock of the intellect opens. If someone's activity is unlawful, his intellect becomes locked. The Father explains, if you do something like that, then according to the drama, your intellect will become locked. You won't be able to tell anyone not to endless and wise. Your conscience will continue to bite you. I have committed so many sins. On the path of ignorance, too, your conscience bites. When someone is dying, he cries out in distress. Then at the end, all his sins appear in front of him. As soon as a soul enters the jail of a worm, punishment begins. Everything will definitely be remembered at the end. So the Father now says, you don't have to cry out in distress. You must simply not commit sin. There are jailbirds. You too were jailbirds. Baba is now liberating you from any punishment in the jail of a worm. He says, remember me, your Father, and you will be liberated from sins and become pure. If you then fall, you will be badly hurt. First, there is impure arrogance. Then there are lust and anger. Lust is the greatest enemy. It has been causing you sorrow from its beginning through the middle to the end. You make effort to receive happiness from the beginning through the middle to the end. Therefore, you should make full effort. Some say that they are unable to wake up early in the morning. In that case, they won't be able to claim a high status. They will have to become maids or servants. There, you won't have to pick up cow dung. There are no road sweepers, etc. There, even now they don't have servants, etc. abroad. Everything becomes clean automatically. There is no dirt there. But yes, there will be cremators and maids and servants. The Father tells you children all the secrets. The whole kingdom is in your intellects. You have now understood the drama. First of all, you must explain the cycle, invite the governor, etc. for any opening ceremony. Your children are given directions. Before you have an opening ceremony, explain to them Bharat was elevated and it has now become corrupt. The worthy of worship deities of Bharat have become human beings who are worshippers. You must definitely explain this to them so that they themselves say that you explain to them the secrets of the world cycle. Those who know these things are said to be Trikaldarshi. If a human being doesn't know the drama, of what use is he? Many people say that the purity of the beaches is very good. Everyone likes purity. Sannyasis are pure and the deities are also pure, and this is why people bow their heads in front of them. However, this is something else. Only the Supreme Soul can be the purifier. It cannot be a human guru who makes impure ones pure. You should explain, please have mercy for yourselves and understand this matter so that your status will become very high. Explain to them how the people of Bharat have become worshippers from being worthy of worship, and how the deities, the people of Bharat, take 84 births. You definitely have to explain these things to them. 3000 years before Christ, the people of Bharat were deities. That was called heaven, the land of happiness. Heaven has now become hell. If you sit and explain this to them, you will be praised a great deal. You should also have a party for journalists. Then everything depends on them as to whether they set fire to everything or throw water on everything that you have done. You children know that the war has to take place. Rivers of blood will flow in Bharat. When partition took place, so many people became homeless. The governments became completely separate. That too is fixed in the drama. They fight among themselves and cause friction. In the beginning, Hindustan and Pakistan were not separate. Rivers of blood have to flow in Bharat, because only then will rivers of ghee flow. So what would the consequences be? Only a few are saved. You Pandavas are incognito. So first of all, give the introduction to the governor. You First of all, have to praise those to whom you have to go. However, only you understand the secret of what is written about them. They don't understand that this kingdom is like a marriage. According to the drama, their own plans are also made. In the Mahabharata, they show that annihilation took place. No great annihilation takes place. The knowledge of the world cycle should echo inside your children at every moment. First of all, they should understand who it is that gives you these teachings. Only then would they understand that they too are truly the children of Shiv and also the children of Prajapita Brahma. This is a genealogical tree. Prajapita Brahma is the great grandfather. Brahma is the most senior in the human world tree. Shiv would not be called this. He'd just call the father. The title great grandfather belongs to Prajapita Brahma. There must definitely also be the grandmother and the grandchildren. Your children have to explain all of this. Shiv is the father of all souls. He creates the world through Brahma. You know how many generations there are. You should explain to the governor. Such exhibitions should take place on every corner, and arrangements made for us. We don't even have 3 square feet of land, and yet we then became the masters of the world. If you make these arrangements for us, we will serve to make Bharat into heaven. If they gave you even a little help, all the people would begin to say that even the governor has become a Brahma Kumar. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, surrender your body, mind and wealth that are what shells to the father, and then look after them as a trustee. Remove your attachment to them. Second point, wake up early in the morning and remember the father with a lot of love. Gain victory over Maya with the power of knowledge and the power of your intellect's yoga. Blessing. May you be a great donor and an image that is blessed who gives and receives power with your drishti. Explanation. As you progress in the future, when there won't be time or circumstances to serve with words, you will then only be able to give the experience of the powers of peace, love, happiness, and bliss with your drishti, that of a great donor and an image who is blessed. When you go in front of the non-living idols, you receive vibrations from their faces and you feel divinity from their eyes. It is because you did the service in the living form that the non-living images have been made. So practice giving and receiving power with your drishti, and you will become a great donor and an image that is blessed. Slogan. Let there be a sparkle of happiness, peace and joy in your features, and you will be able to make the future of many souls elevated. Om Shanti.